Hello, TikTok family. I just want to start off by saying for those of you who might be getting harassed, might be dealing with a lot of people in your community that are treating you a certain way, very awkwardly, giving you awkward looks, creating situations and scenarios around you that seem suspicious, I want you to understand that you are not alone. And I also want you to understand that you are a victim of something called community mobbing. And what you are is what's called a targeted individual. Let's get into it. Community mobbing, aka gang stalking, is when multiple groups of people, whether in your workplace or in your province, your state, or your town, it's when groups of people come together to conspire against a single individual for spiritual or mental harm. Now, what purpose would this serve, one might ask? What purpose would it serve for multiple groups of people in multiple different areas to conspire against a single individual? The theory is that man fears what he does not understand. So they watch a particular individual who may have a good spirit or who may have a good heart because they do not understand that person's nature. They do not understand that person's ways. They don't understand why a person may just want to stay to themselves. So what happens is eventually people do things to you. They prick, they pry, they do things to try to irritate you, to try to push your buttons. And they do this in attempts to understand you. Some of the signs and symptoms of being gang stalked or community harassed, it's all about strange events that are happening just nonstop, and you don't understand what's going on. Also, people kind of behaving in sort of an awkward fashion towards you. When you go into different stores and different malls, it seems like this. It seems as if there's always these events or these scenarios that people are doing around you that may even seem relevant to things that they know would bother you. And they're very close to things that might make you tick, and it just seems a little suspicious. A lot of lies, a lot of rumors, and you're just going out of your way to try and block them and try and clear your name, but just nothing seems to help. And also, these rumors will spread to your different friends or different family in different states and different provinces. So it's almost like this big campaign that somebody's running that's just destroying or discrediting you. And what you'll find strange is that people seem to know your business. People seem to know things that you did, years back, and you might have, you might have been alone at that time. You might have been like, how do they know this thing? You know what I mean? So, it just seems like people are collecting information that may have only pertained to you and only you, that no one else should know. It's just people just seem to know everything that's going on in your life that they shouldn't know. And as time goes on, you start to notice that even, when it comes to your finances, you're starting to be overbilled or overcharged, just strange amounts, just a little more, like little bits and pieces day and day. And you're wondering, for some reason, you're just starting to lose money rather quickly on normal things that you never seem to have lost money on. They're just overbilling or overcharging little bits more and more day by day. Another one is that friends are no longer contacting you or calling you back. You all have never left on bad terms, and just for some reason nobody's calling back or hitting you up, and you're just starting to wonder what's going on. Also, you're starting to lose a lot of friends very quickly over a small period of time, just because of just all the frustration and all of the negativity and all of the anger, and a lot of the people on the outside looking in just can't see what's going on, because the things that are being orchestrated around you aren't meant for them to see, because those are the people who are backing you. So you're losing a lot of friendships very quickly because the people who are actually for you don't seem to understand what's going on behind the scenes. And in the midst of all of this craziness, in the midst of all of this madness, you think of a friend, an old friend from back in the day, and suddenly that friend just happens to pop up, and these strange occurrences and instances of people bumping into you and saying, it's been a long time since we've seen you, and it just seems a little bit strange, a little bit fishy. I mean, or this person who may have just had absolutely no interest in you, thought you were a loser at one point, suddenly having all of this interest and want to talk to you now, and it just seems a little bit fishy. That's because they're collecting information to plot against you in the end. And a lot of times they'll try to write you off as maybe crazy or childish, because when you tell the story, when you tell people you're being targeted for harm, or when you tell people you're being community harassed, it doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't make sense why multiple groups of people would sort of just be kind of in the background sabotaging a person. It just seems a bit crazy. What you just heard in the background, that's called noise harassment. When they whistle, that's another sign of gang stalking. You just witnessed it right now. If you look it up, that is one of the signs of gang stalking and community harassment is noise harassment. A lot of times what they do is they'll whistle around you. They'll actually do a cough, like do some kind of cough or something like that. Maybe honking their horn really loud, or they're parked somewhere in front of your direction. They got these flashing lights on you, kind of thing. And a lot of these things are meant to make you seem paranoid. A lot of these things are made to make you seem crazy, because like I say, when you try to explain it to your friends, when you try to explain what's happening to them, it just seems like it doesn't make sense. It just seems a bit crazy. It just seems a bit childish. It just seems a bit like you're making excuses. So you have to understand that this is a psychological war game that these people play, and it's very orchestrated in that manner. As you just saw right now, it looks innocent, but it's meant to annoy you. Every time I'm doing artwork and trying to concentrate on something, he walks by me, with that loud whistle. Every time I'm trying to focus on a new beat or a new song, he walks past me with that loud whistle. He doesn't do that anywhere else. There's never a need for him to do that except for when he's around me. So clearly you just saw that happen. The only reason he didn't do it at that moment is because he was clear out the door before anybody would even notice he was doing it. And there's just this feeling that you're like no longer in control of your own life, that there's somebody else. It's just like all these events, it's just can't be so unlucky. It can't always be a bad event. No, it's not like that. That's because they're orchestrated, guy. And the reason why a lot of this is so effective and so sophisticated in turning people against you and destroying your reputation, destroying your friendships, destroying your family relationships, destroying your whole life, is because they're also using the internet. They have the ability, anytime they see you here, they're going to text the other person that's over there. They're going to create events. These people literally sit around creating these events and talking amongst each other because the internet and social media and cell phones have made these kind of attempts that much more sophisticated for these kind of predators to actually stalk you and destroy things in the background, including friendships, because now they can also go on social media and destroy friendships in the background without you knowing their face. So if it's all of these things, if it's this whole just non-stop series of daily events, then there is a very, very good chance that you are actually a victim of gang stalking, electronic harassment. You are a targeted individual. Level up, stay strong. The devil ain't shit. Peace. Part 2 coming up soon.